All right, we're going to go ahead and move into our next portion of today's TIC. As Marissa said a few minutes ago, my name's Alex Glade. I am the Social Studies contact for Heartland, in addition to being an instructional technology consultant here. So I'm going to take just the next 10 minutes or so and just quickly run through a few resources that are available online for social studies, some of the things that I get questions about regularly just to make sure people are able to find these. You'll also see in your agenda, I did put links to some of these things right up towards the top of the second page up there so that you can get to some of these. But I'll show you how to access these as well. So first, just the Iowa Corps website. So just if you go to iowacorps.gov. And I'll walk you through a few of the resources that are available here. But this website has a lot of resources as we're looking towards implementing the new standards. And actually, that's the first thing I'd like to show you on this website is just how to access our new social studies standards. Hopefully everyone is aware that we do have new standards and that we are in year 2 of the implementation process. So we've got by fall of 2020, everybody will be required to have full implementation of the new social studies standards. So just to access these, if you just go up to the top here to where it says Iowa Core Standards, and then obviously there's a number of different ways you can browse these, but if you just go to subject areas and then social studies, and then you can do by grade level, or on the right side over here is the PDF document that has all of the standards together here. And these are color-coded according to the different subject areas. So as you scroll down through, you'll see at each grade level it does include the color coding. Hopefully everyone has seen these by this point. You also can order, if you would like, you can order bound color copies of these through Heartland's Print Center if you would like. Yeah, and they look, here, nice. So they will look like this, and they are color-coded. So as you go through, you'll see at each grade level, it shows like this that matches the disciplines for each grade level. So those are very nice to have. They're, I think it's like $1.60 or something like that a copy through Heartland's Print Center if you'd like to get those ordered. And in order to do that, just fill out the PDF file that's on the Creative Services portion of Heartland's website. So that was the first thing I wanted to show you, was just how to access the standards on the Iowa Corps website. There are also a lot of resources available to help you teaching now, but also as you move towards implementing these new standards. So if you just go up to the top here to Educator Resources, and then select Social Studies over here on the left side under Subject Area Pages. And there is a lot available here. So I would suggest maybe when you have a chance just taking some time to dig through some of what's here. And actually, as I see up here, I would also suggest if you don't already receive the newsletter from Stephanie in the Department of Ed, I would suggest that you sign up to receive this newsletter. It comes full of different resources and information. So as I said, click that link up here at the top if you don't receive that already, and sign up to get that in your email. So a couple of the things, as I said, there's a lot here. I'm going to just point out a couple largely related to the new standards and working towards implementation of these. But as you scroll down, you'll see the 3 columns down here, halfway down the page or so. We're going to start under Instruction and looking at the Understanding and Implementing the Standards link. Now, as you look at this page, a couple of the things, and as I said, there's a lot here. I'm just going to point out a few. A couple of things that are kind of handy are these grade level cards here. So if you go to these and click on them, you'll see it's each of the standards by grade level that you can print off, and if you want to cut them up into cards and use these for planning. Sometimes it's easy to have these cards to be able to move around, decide what you're going to address in each unit, how you're going to progress through the year. This also can be helpful for some vertical alignment as you're working with teachers above and below you to align what's being addressed at different grade levels. Or at the high school level, because you'll see all of our high school standards are grade banded. They are 9-12, but every one of these standards does need to be addressed in a class that every student is taking. So these can be a helpful way to ensure that's happening as well. Get together with your high school teams, print off these cards. Each teacher can kind of arrange these cards to make sure that every standard is being addressed in a class that every student is taking. And then also you'll see down below here, you can see the progression of standards as well. So if we look here, the inquiry standards are here, so we could click on these and see how this progresses throughout a student's experience. So we'll see in kindergarten, this would be how this standard applies, and then first grade and so on, so that we can see the progression a student would follow throughout their K-12 experience and how these standards build on each other. And we'll see this for each of the different anchor standards here. So those are pretty good resources to help plan as you begin working towards implementation of our new standards. And then next we'll just go, oops, skipped ahead here a little bit. So we'll go to this, go back, so we're back on the main social studies resources page. And then we'll click on planning for delivery and implementation. And as we scroll down here, a couple of things I wanted to point out. First of all, some of these templates that are available here. As you work on planning, as we look at the new standards, you'll see that these are more inquiry-based. So we do want to plan more around questions as we're looking at these. So you do see some templates here that can help you with some of this planning. And you'll see at the lesson level, the unit level, and even the course level, so that you can look at these different steps and begin using these as a tool to work towards implementing these standards. Then I also wanted to point out down here below these standards at a glance. So you'll see blank templates here, but also at certain grade levels, we do have some examples. And there will be more of these examples coming, but as of now, you see some of these examples. So I'll click on 7th grade here. And we see here an example of an entire year of 7th grade and how you could bundle the standards, how these could all be organized together using compelling and supporting questions, along with some resources that could be used to teach these standards. Now, remember, none of this is required, but these are some places to get you started, some resources that can be helpful. All right. Just a couple other things as I'm quickly running out of time here. I did want to point out as well some additional learning opportunities coming up. So those of you that are on the email list, on Stephanie's email list from the Department of Ed, you may have gotten just, I forget, within the last couple days sometime, an email that listed these upcoming webinars. So these are throughout this upcoming school year. So you'll see the first one is starting here next week, and then they'll go up through April. Different webinars on different topics that could be helpful as well. So I'd suggest that you look through some of these. If these are topics and times that work for you, go ahead and register for these. And I think were these going to be posted afterwards as well? Did I read that?
Yeah, the links will be put in the...
Yeah, okay, the link is up there, that these will be posted afterwards as well if you're not able to make it live. We also do have our Year 2 statewide PD that's offered at each AEA. So Heartland, we are offering 3 sessions for elementary and 3 sessions for secondary. I have had a lot of questions related to Year 1. Even if you did not attend the Year 1 training, we still recommend that you try to get to a Year 2 training. So to access these, if you just go to the Heartland webpage, go to Professional Development, and pull up our PD catalog here. And then if you go to Subject Category and just scroll down to Social Studies/History, and then when you run the search, you'll see our different sessions that are available there. So as I said, these are 2-day sessions. So you attend 1 2-day session. They're the same content offered 3 different times, 3 times for secondary and 3 times for elementary over the course of this year. So our first secondary one is coming up here soon. It'll be September 26th and 27th. And then we've got an elementary one in November, and then we've got some other ones in February and March, and again in June. So we do recommend that you get registered for some of these to help with that implementation process as well. And then lastly, I wanted to point out also, you may be aware that the Iowa Council for the Social Studies conference is coming up. I did put a link in the agenda as well for that. So if you are able, this is a great learning opportunity, so I'd suggest if you can that you get registered for this and try to attend this conference if you're able. Otherwise, as I said, that's just a real quick run through of a few resources that are available, some things that I get questions about on a regular basis. Feel free to contact me. Again, my name's Alex Glade, so I'm just aglade@heartlandaea.org is my email. Feel free to contact me if you have further questions or if there's more things that I can do to help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
5.